It's the morning, and in the middle of doing my mum's ears, so in 10 minutes time I'm going to go and check on her after having put in the slightly warmed up ear oil in her right ear this morning. And she's got a bit of tissue there, and the clock, and the fluffy aminals to keep her company. And this morning I was sandpapering my big toes because I have a bit of rough skin on the bottom of my big toe, but also I noticed there's this sort of like slight cut. I think it's left over of a slight cut near the middle of the pad of the toe, and it's kind of like it's rough and it's sort of slightly uncomfortable occasionally. And I think before I've sand, like this is like being at the beach, like sand, so it's like it's sanding down the skin and trying to make it like smooth all over. It's just another part of my body that I've been working on, so that's one of my fun things to share with you this morning. And then more packages this morning, different creams from Mum, and then some more books from me. Maybe the postman are getting a bit irritated with all the books and creams and stuff, but hey, that's their job. Like one of them said. The guy this morning though seemed a bit irritated, having brought another package, but the other ones seemed perfectly fine with it. So I guess he's just, I don't know, jealous maybe? I don't know. Anyway, most of the books I get have to be repaired anyway because they're second hand, unless you're lucky and you get a really good one. Usually they need some sort of repair, or they have something wrong with them, what people would consider, you know, unsightly or something like this. Other than that, I'll be going to town later. I've catalogued my Star Trek books according to Stardate now, so I have a better idea of what time period all these different books. You have the original series books, and then you have Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager later, and then obviously there's a new whole season called Enterprise, and all the rest of it, which has all kinds of stuff in it to do with time travel and all kinds of other stuff. But apparently time travel actually was there at the beginning too. So actually, time travel is actually throughout the whole thing. One of the earliest books involves time travel. Another book I got involves time travel as well, sci-fi. About 10 books for about £7. Quite ridiculous. One of them is literally about time travel, so I've got that one. I've been trying to make my way through that as well. So I've got several books on the go, and then I need to get my books ready together for the ones I want to take to town, because I have my stuff I have in town for actually repairing tears, and like some of the books really need far more attention, and so I'll take all those books with me. Other than that, I've got more packages coming to me in town. A lot of them are books, but they're not all books. They're also to do with box sets, ancient box sets of gaming systems, obviously in a different sort of realm that I want to actually do my sort of gaming in, but it's still the same concept of you're exploring a realm and things happen, and it's captivating, and you learn stuff, and you can learn strategy, and you can learn about certain artifacts and all these sorts of things. It doesn't have to be a military based war game. It can just be an actual game of exploration. It could be a game of all kinds of different kinds of games, and to be perfectly honest, they all can be pretty fun. It'd be nice if the world did more of that and less of the blowing each other up physically. I think we could like quit doing that actually, completely. It'd be great. And, like I've said before in my other videos, transform the entire military-industrial complex into the rescue operation that we require, and they can put their effort into that if they have that sort of mentality, and they're that strong physically. There we go, they can all work together to repair bridges and deal with natural disasters, and you never know, maybe that'll even attract more people into the military, because more people will be more interested in actually helping these sort of disaster situations, and then maybe actually more research into when these disaster situations happen. Like myself, I'd like to really hone all my research to the point where I could actually predict natural disasters, which is what they're called. But really, they're just a manifestation of the fluctuations of the reality we live in time-space continuum that we live in. If you look at the quantum level equations of all of that, you'll realise there has to be some sort of cause to create that sort of effect, and that cause has to come from some sort of origin point, and that origin point has to have some sort of cyclic nature to it, and therefore if you map that, you can figure out how the different levels of that interact with the different dimensions of our reality, of the middle of the Earth, the outside of the Earth, the solar system. Over time, you may not get it perfectly to begin with, but if you put enough science and research into it, you could probably figure out when all that's going to happen. Especially if you realise that some people live on fault lines, etc., etc. Anyway, that's a greater goal that would be amazing to accomplish. There are people that do that already, by the way, and far better than anything I've ever actually come up with in relation to actual disasters. But anyway, I did actually have a game of that golf game online. I had to reinstall everything because they've updated it, but I haven't played it for months. But I managed to get working again, so I had a couple of games of golf, one of which I won, another one I lost. Which is part of the reason why I play it, perfectly honest. It's good to win and lose. So I better get my stuff together and then head off later today in the afternoon. Still got a few more things to do here. There's other stuff from my mum. There's stuff from Australia. There's been books written about zeolite in Australia. And they have a different kind of zeolite she's been using to help remove toxic chemicals and toxic metals. So there's a book they've written in Australia about that, so we're going to order a few of those, plus a bulk load of their zeolite. And then there was some binoculars. So I've just done the bird food, and so like I do that every time I come back here. And so Mum was wanting to get some binoculars as well, because there's like different birds that come and visit. And having a decent pair of new binoculars will make it that much more enjoyable to actually check out all the cool feathers, all different like green ones and the different kinds of tits and the sparrows, and there's these little doves. I think people call them house pigeons, but they definitely look more like doves to me. There's a pair of doves that sometimes arrive, and they're small enough to kind of land and sort of sit on the edge of the tray where there's seeds and kind of peck. Whereas the big pigeons are just too big, and it's designed for little birds. Sometimes big birds do arrive and they just kind of clamber over the whole thing and try and eat some of the food, which they do manage to do, but it's far more effort for them because it's like this outside cage and then there's the suet balls inside, so the little birds can kind of get in far easier. Anything else to report? Yeah, definitely still loving these glasses. They're really great. They make a big difference to my life. And I've got my own personal apple cider vinegar. So there we go. Sanding the big toes, apple cider vinegar, fixing books, contemplating getting back to my work for creating a game, which should be pretty exciting, actually. To be perfectly honest, and maybe I'll try and play some tennis this year, play some golf, kick around football, and keep doing everything I've already been doing. And this morning I was doing a wee bit of chanting. I fixed one of my original books I got about healing sounds. I was reading some of that again, so I think I need to do a bit more vocals again. Try and do a bit more vocals. So now exactly what is it I'm missing from my whole concept of reality that you're still not getting? Had my medicinal mushrooms before bed last night. I'd forgotten to have them yesterday. They definitely help. So there you go. There's another video. As you can see, I'm definitely doing a lot better now. That's interesting. It's taken me a few years. That's also very interesting. Sometimes things take time. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Great. it's too far away.